Hi, hello, hello. Happy Monday. What can we chat about today? Ooh, got a harsh light here. Okay. There we go. Hi. So I had a gig today. Felt really good to pick up my camera. And I'm very excited for Q2 because Q2 is all about creating. And picking up the camera again for different reasons. So this month is a really good transition month into that because I have a good amount of gigs this month that are creative, like not just like go take an event. Today was an event, but that are just really like creative, muscle and challenging myself. And yeah, so it felt good to be out there with my camera ever since being back into the city. And I spent a lot of today reading a photo book, finishing a photo book. And it's been so affirming reading these photo books and going through them. They're all African photography and cinema. And it's so cool reading the photographer profiles because genuinely there's no one path to how they got to where they are. In fact, the only commonality is that they all did really random shit in their lives. Like they're carpenters and they're actors and they're illustrators and they worked with garbage. Like they did so many different things, and especially to have it be people that look like me and have similar ethnic and cultural backgrounds is so like significant and impactful reading it, because you read, I look through photo books of white photographers, which are primarily in the space, and I'm like, okay, but like that's not realistic, or maybe that this and this, I don't know. It just to read someone who looks like me having the successes that they do, and not even just successes, but like working on what they love and what they believe in and how they infuse their culture and their Pan-Africanism and critiques and visions and politics into their work has been really inspiring. And that was just one photo book, and I still have like 10 to go through this week. So that was really a big just validation, and it just felt it was just so affirming. I keep saying that, but affirming and validating in so many different ways, and just makes me more inspired and more sure that I'm where I need to be and what I want to do. So that was really the big takeaway of today. And I don't really know what else. I'm working on a newsletter. Remember when I said I was going to do that newsletter every quarter last year, and I only did one? I feel like I'm experiencing breakage in my hair. Chat, let me know if this is breakage. So I started outlining that and working on that. But yeah, I didn't have much time in the day just because I woke up later because I was a little sick this morning. So I let myself sleep because I wasn't sure how strenuous this day would be with the event. But it was really light physically. So yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna, hopefully I don't wake up feeling sick again. But tomorrow we're going to have a packed little day. I did decide that I'm dropping, I was going to be running Eugene Marathon. I dropped it. It just doesn't make sense for a lot of reasons. Primarily, I'm not trained. Oh my gosh, the weather outside, it was like 70 degrees today. It felt so good. And the snow has all melted. Anyway, I'm off topic. But yeah, that was a big thing for me, is these photo books have just been so like, oh my gosh. Wow, okay. I'm not crazy for quitting my corporate job. So yeah, I'm excited to continue to read. I'm gonna read a couple of pages and then I'm gonna go to bed. So I'm excited to continue to read and be inspired. I'm taking photos of anything that inspires me and the names of people that I want to go back and individually study. And that's just gonna be a lifelong endeavor. I just don't want to, I can go ahead and check out the next curriculum books, but I don't want to have that many books checked out from the library at once. So I'm trying to get through a couple more before, I think later this week, maybe tomorrow or the day after is when I will be able to start checking out the other ones. Sorry, zoned out, thinking about something else. Anyway, that's all I have for today. So I'm excited for tomorrow, and overall just feels great to be back in the city. Felt good to have my camera in my hands, have a nice little workflow. We'll see how the photos came out. I already ingested and made my selects, so tomorrow will just be a matter of editing. Even just proud of that workflow, coming back at night and just going straight to uploading and selecting and then just edit the next day. Go me. So yeah, happy to be back. Miss New York, and this weather is making me have hope in life again. Hey chat, what's up? What a day today. A really good day. I just like put some shea butter on my face so I'm glistening. For some reason my face like is irritated. I don't know why. Anyway, where was I going? Great day today. Great so far. You know, it's day 3 of operating with my very detailed daily schedule, and today went really well. Got everything. I had to move taxes because unexpectedly one call that I had went longer, and then unexpectedly had another call for an hour. So I had to reorganize that. I also started my day not when I was supposed to. I started around 9 a.m. instead of 6, 7, 5. And it's almost midnight here, and we don't know if that's going to be a possibility tomorrow either. But it went really well. Today's big wins are I edited, so I had an event that I photographed last night, edited today, sent it off, got feedback. They loved it, and hopefully securing a gig with them in North Carolina when I visit in April. So that was really nice to just kind of like quickly turn that around. It felt so good to turn that around. The workflow was so easy. Like, I really love coming. That was my first time like being like, okay, no matter how late it is, upload the photos, make the selects, and that's it. So that the next day when I'm at my laptop, it's literally just a matter of starting the edit instead of like, oh, I still have to sit here and comb through all the selects, or I still have to upload it. You know, like, I don't know. It made the process so easy. So I'm really proud of that turnaround. And, excuse me, and then I had a call with a UNC alum who was a couple years below me. She reached out and we spent an hour and a half just talking about her goals and dreams, and she was asking questions about my career progression and stuff, and it's really cool. I've been having about a call a week since the beginning of this year of people who reached out to me, either prior connections or from social media, asking for advice and just wanting to pick my brain. And it's like I'm honored. Sometimes I get a little overwhelmed, but as I'm talking with them, I'm like, oh yeah, I do have insights and stuff I can share, and I am honored that people look to me for that. So that's been a really like fulfilling experience. But we had a great conversation. I'm excited to see where she goes, and hopefully that was helpful for her. And then I had a job interview. Surprise, surprise. I'm in a women's chat that shares like different media opportunities, and someone posted about a part-time position as an office assistant, so it'd just be 2 days a week in an office. And I was like, yeah, why not? Like, let's like apply, or like let's send a resume in. Had a conversation, went really well. I'll find out by the end of this week if they're moving forward. But I think the reason I was like, well, let me like apply to this is because I think it's a great opportunity, especially once I learn more about the role, great opportunity to learn about the function of a business. And like, I'm really good at all the tasks that they would need, like organizing stuff, culture, events, like ordering things, all that stuff. Like, I'm very good at that, and I'm literally in development for with my business, but things that I've always consistently done over the past few years. So I think it'd be great to just continue to hone that and also see how that operates within this company. And it's an ad agency, so I'd also be in proximity to production and ad, and kind of like learn from there without being in it, and just be around people who are into that. So hopefully it works out. I'll know by this time posting up if I hear back from them, and if it doesn't, that's like totally fine. But that was like something that was nice, and it's only twice a week, so that's like perfect amount of time where I would still have freedom to do my thing, and also just have some type of like reliable, consistent income while I'm also learning a lot, so a supplemental income. So I think that's a great opportunity. So I had that, and then I'm in development for a photo workshop that I'm super excited about, that I'm going to be leading this series. It's an entire series. It's a really ambitious project, and I had a call with my friend about it. and then like re-amended my pitch deck and sent that off. So that will be coming in April, and I'm really, really excited about it. And just like, I'm just like loving that slowly things are coming together. Like, where it's like, what are the consistent threads that I care about? It's educating, mentoring, supporting, accessibility, documenting, archive, like all this stuff, right? And so seeing it all really fall into place really well has been really cool. And so I did that, and then I went to go model for my boyfriend's friend's clothing brand. So we went out there, modeled, and that was fun. And why not, you know? So I think that was a cool way to be creatively involved and support. So very fulfilling day, very good day. I had to move my taxes to, I think I already said that, but I had to move it to tomorrow. I'm also just like putting that off. Oh, and I finished a photo book. So now we're on another photo book. I finished that photo book I showed you all yesterday. So now we're on Africa's State of Mind, Contemporary Photography Reimagines a Continent. So good. So I'm gonna dive through that a little bit before I sleep, hopefully finish that tomorrow. I'm just, again, trying to get through that. My curriculum focus for this, I think I've talked about it before, but like every 2 months I focus on a different curriculum, like a self-guided curriculum, to really dive deep on different topics that I'm interested in. So the first 2 months of the year, which was the first curriculum, was on African studio portraiture. And the rule is the first month is like really diving into the study of things, so like reading, films, all this stuff. And then the second month is creating some type of project output. So with this specifically, the output is going to be this longer term project that I'm working on. So curriculum 1 doesn't have an immediate output. But my second curriculum that starts this month is learning about herbs and plants, and diving really into that. And it's been so cool because I've been seeing different herb shops, and I'm like been taking photos of them. I just literally saw one today where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna come back and visit you. And my TikTok algorithm has kind of figured out about that. And then the big project for that is I want to build and or buy like a plot, like those like wooden plots, to plant some herbs and plants in my family's backyard. And I think that'd be great to do in April. I'm gonna be going home for a little bit then, and just like ushering in spring. And then for myself, also wanting to like buy some herbs, plants, or plant some myself to start that process, as well as joining a community garden, a local community garden. So nice way to usher into the spring, and I think just like get this baseline study this month on plants and herbology, and then spending literal hands in the grass and in the dirt in April. And it's not like, oh, I stop, you know, like once the month is over and the curriculum timeline is over, I stop it. It's like going to be continuations of studies. Like I'm still reading the African study photo books, even though that was last month's curriculum. But it's just like to like have this dedicated time of just diving into stuff, because my brain is just like, I want to learn about so many different things. And I find that like especially I go through books so quickly that I don't really retain stuff sometimes. And so I want to be better at like the research of things. And that's what I loved about college. It's like learning and research, like deep dives, because that sticks with you longer. So that's the inspiration for that. And to really take what I learned and make something about it. So it could be writing a paper, or it could be planting some herbs. It could be doing the photo project, like whatever, right? So I'm really excited about that. And then my curriculums happen every 3 months, and it's focused on a skill development. So this first curriculum for Q1, quarter 1, was sewing. I'm looking at my sewing machine. I have not touched her. It is March. But I do have days, like 3 or 4 days dedicated this month. And again, it's not like, okay, once I stop sewing, I'm going to stop, not pick it up again. It's more, I think I'm just so intimidated. But I had the resources, like a social media mutual friend sent this Google Doc of like a bunch of resources of sewing that she shared with other friends. And someone who posts about videos on TikTok about sewing, like commented in my video being like, hey, like happy to, you know, whatever, like you should look at my videos. So I have the resourcing. I'm just really, really intimidated. But I got to get over that. And my goal before March ends is to mend this one pair of pants. I took a sewing class like 2 years ago, and was in the middle of like mending some pants shorts, and I've kept it with all the pins all this time. And so the only project in March that I would like to have completed is just finishing mending that. And then each month I'll give myself like a different project to work on. And then the second quarter curriculum was swimming, like learn how to swim. That one, I'm not sure if I'm still gonna pursue that. I think I may switch it to, what's the word? Protecting yourself. Oh my gosh. Self-defense. Whew. Self-defense. It's just gonna come down to cost. So like if I can find a friend who would be willing to teach me how to swim, then I would do that. If I can find some type of bartering partnership with the self-defense studio, I would do that. So it's gonna come down to cost. I just have to be like, what do I have, right? Like the sewing machine and the tools, I already have that. Because I just want to be like cognizant of that. Maybe I'll switch it. The reason I wanted to do swimming first is because I'd be ideally learn how to swim basics before the summertime starts, which would be Q3. And then Q3's goal is roller skating, and I already own roller skates. I just have never touched them since I ordered them in 2020. So I don't even know if they still are functional. But that I already have. And I forget what Q4 was. Sewing, swimming, roller skating. Oh, this is gonna bug me. What was Q4? I don't remember. You know what? I'm gonna stop this video and look it up because it's gonna bother me. Electric guitar. I want to learn how to play the electric guitar. That's what it was. I had to look back at my notes to see what it was. Anyway, all this to say, exciting things. So that's like kind of I'm structuring like my personal life. Because in this, I want to be a Renaissance woman, and you need to really dedicate time to learning different stuff. So that takes time to let those skills develop and give yourself time to like learn something. Because I have a tendency to there's so many different cubbies I have where it's different interests. Like there's EMT, there's language notebooks and flashcards, there's my craft box, there's my running section, there's my camera section, there's my like miscellaneous section, my makeup section, like all the different things that I picked up for a day or two and then dropped. So I want to be better at being intentional. So I share all that because maybe that inspires somebody, or, you know, makes you think about how to structure things really well. And also just to share insight of like how I'm thinking about this year, like the level of intentionality that is going into this year. And it's not just, I come on here, I think often talk about like the business and things like that, but there's also a lot. I want to be better, I guess, talking to myself and to y'all about like my personal life, and how I'm structuring those. And I don't want to let that go off to the wayside, because part of the world that I want to exist in is being able to enjoy and live my life. And like self-develop and continue to grow as a woman. And that takes time in investing in yourself and being intentional with how you spend your time, and not just only in work. And I'm really, really lucky that like work and my personal intertwine really well. Like being creative, I'm being a person and a human living my life is being creative, and vice versa. So, which is like a great thing, but also could be a con, because then as I've experienced multiple different parts of my life, like when you start to monetize the thing that you love, it develops this weird relationship. I haven't gotten there yet, but also I haven't been like actively creating yet. That's Q2. Q1 is strategy, business foundation, admin, organization, like nose to the ground. Q2 is like we are taking a camera outside every single day, and we are like documenting. We are going to be a documentarian. So maybe I'll feel a little differently then, but you know, if things work out with this part-time office, it'd be nice to have that consistent-ish income that I can like use to pay for bills. And that's a plus. But yeah, anyway, all stuff to think through the next few days, and the next few weeks, and the next few months. But for today, for now, it was a really good day. And the weather was also amazing, so like life felt worth living again. That helped a lot as well. But I'm excited about tomorrow. I've got a lot of things on the to-do list, and it's just really nice because, again, like the whole thing about manifesting and moving with intention is like doing all that work in December and doing all that work a couple days ago of sitting down and scheduling every minute task that I know is leading me to my monthly task, that I know is leading me to my quarterly goals, that I know is leading me to my yearly goal, that I know is leading me to my 5-year goal. Like, to be able to just wake up and be like, okay, cool. This is what I do. Like, at the end of each day, I'll sit and look at the calendar for next day and write down the order of tasks. So it's not just on my calendar. It's also on my little, like, whiteboard that I have next to me. And I just go through these tasks. And it's so nice because I'm like, just get those things done. And that's all, girl. That's all you got to do for today. Because you've organized it in a way. And if you get ahead and you have some time and you have motivation, energy, we can just get some stuff done for tomorrow. But every single thing, I know that every single thing that I'm doing is bettering myself, my company, my personal life, my family life, my relationships, how I view the world and interact with the world. And that's so nice because I don't have to think too much. It's just get the task done. But you know that every single thing is working towards something. And that's the beauty of this. That's really what I learned when I started doing this 2 years ago. And really, especially last year. And really so far in 8 weeks of living this year. So I'm gonna get back to this book. Read a couple. Maybe I'll give myself 30 minutes of reading time. I shouldn't. It's probably already midnight by now. But maybe I will. And looking forward to checking in tomorrow. But I'm proud of you, girl. You are doing the damn thing, girl. You are so smart. God, I love you. Morning. Yes, it's the morning of Thursday. I totally thought I did a video yesterday, but I didn't. Oh man, I was woken up by our exterminator. It's the one thing about living in an apartment. It's great having a super, great not paying mortgage, HOA fees, whatever. The downside is you're at the whims of your neighbor's cleaning habits. For the past few years, our downstairs neighbor, confirmed filthy. So we've been having issues. But came through. I was like, thank you. At this point, we're buddies. Because I've been here so many times trying to fix the problem that is coming from downstairs. But I was like, let me do a quick little thing. Yesterday was really good. I woke up at 8, I believe. I think I got started around 9. And I did my taxes. Everybody clap. I did my taxes. And not only did I do my taxes, it took me like 3 hours. But I wrote down, because it'll be the last time that I use this service, because how much I made with my full-time job last year, I didn't qualify for the free file tax service. But, well, I was going to say now I'm going to be making less, but we're not going to put that energy out there, because I could be making more than what I did last year. So I assumed that I would be using the free. So all this to say is I was like, okay, let me make sure that I write down the stuff that they asked for specifically about like what you can expense and deduct or whatever. So I wrote everything down, like what you, like advertising, office supplies, whatever. Excuse me. And made a spreadsheet. So another spreadsheet. If I took a shot every time I made a spreadsheet, I'd be drunk all the time. But where was I going with this? Yeah, I made a spreadsheet for this year. So being very, very meticulous about like tracking everything down to like when I'm taking a train to a gig and back. And then, so basically the way I have it is like, I have it broken into different categories. So it's like, is this advertising? Is this office supplies? Is this, I'm trying to think of the other ones. Travel, business related travel. Is it meals related to business expenses? Is it like miscellaneous? I don't know where it goes. And I'm putting every single thing down. I put what the purchase is, what the business is, the transaction date, and oh, my glasses on, so I'm seeing something. Oh, and the receipt. And the receipt I upload to a Google Drive folder, and then I link it to that. And then I have the Google Drive folder categorized by different months. And I know that there are services and apps that do that for you. right now, like, I'm okay with just making my own stuff. Like, I don't mind doing that work. I don't mind having to manually put things in because it lets me get, like, hands-on with my numbers, and I really want to understand how everything is working, how the formulas are working, like, all of that stuff, so that next year, when I'm like, okay, like, I saw how this year worked, I can pinpoint what is taking me the most amount of work or that I want to outsource, and then I would probably get a paid service. But I'm also just trying to limit, like, my paid services. I could use Notion because I pay for that monthly. And I was thinking about it, but in order to really maximize my use of Notion, but I also really use Notion a lot. So I'm not super worried about, like, I'm not using it enough to justify. Like, what I already use Notion for justifies the monthly payment. I don't have to add all these other spreadsheets into it to make it even more worth it. And I already extensively use Google Spaces, which I'd like to divest from one day. That's just going to be a longer journey. But again, this year is just like, let's get everything that we want out into a sheet, and then as the year progresses over the year, as the months progress, I'll, like, update things and stuff. So anyway, I made that. And then I joined, like, a bookkeeping call, but, like, it was really just them promoting their service, and it took like 30 minutes for them to actually get started talking about it. And again, it was just using their service. I was like, I don't care about this, so I left it. And then I reapplied for health insurance. I saw I got an email being like, I need to provide more information. So hopefully I figure that out. So that, because it's like, my body's like, oh, you don't have health insurance? What if we scare you and have a bunch of things happen to you? And so I just, like, really need it. And then I found my volunteer for the month. I want to volunteer at minimum once a month. I'd like to do it with more frequency, but I said this, like, a couple of videos ago, like a couple of videos ago. I have a lot of ideas of how I want my days to look. And I didn't want to start the year throwing everything I wanted into it. Like, I want to be volunteering this frequently and, like, doing the runs and doing my morning routine and my evening routine and all this stuff, yada yada. Like, I wanted to ease and just get baseline, and then we'll add one new thing in every single time. So I still haven't mastered waking up at 5 a.m. I woke up today at 9 because, to be fair, last night I went to bed at 9. I was in my bed at 9, and I was like, I'm going to read for the next hour. Had no screens. Well, I was reading on my iPad. And it was supposed to be reading just to, like, get a little, like, sleepy. The book got really, really good. And next thing you know, it was midnight. I don't know what you want me to do about it. I was waiting for when they would kiss, and it took a long time it was a slow burn. And I just have to say, a plot hates to see me plotting, okay? Because I figured that plot out immediately. Not the plot, but I figured out the twist immediately. I've read so many books, especially fantasy books. And fantasy books, it's, like, always the same. It's either, like, one of the people, love interest, or eventually become a love interest, like, is secretly has either royal blood and doesn't know, or has some secret power and becomes, like, this pivotal important person in this, like, centuries long struggle of this world that they didn't know existed, or a world that they already existed in. That's that. One is that they're royalty and they discover that they need to, like, fight against their family or their father or mother, who's the queen or king or emperor, and they end up banding with, like, and falling in love with the rebel group lead. There's that. Then there's, like, the first variation, but they're royal, like, they're aware, or they're not aware of what's happening in the world, and they're just, like, living royalty, and they fall in love with someone who's either a rebel or a guard who shows them what's really happening in their kingdom, and then they become, like, working with them. Like, it's, like, always variations of that stuff. This one was a new one, but I clocked it. It was I'm not gonna say the book name, but I'm gonna say the plot. So if you are reading something that sounds like this, maybe stop. But essentially, yes, we're going on a quick tangent. Essentially, it was like this. There's two sisters. One of them was primed to marry this other kingdom on the specific day, but they end up coming early, and they end up picking the second sister, who's actually the older sister. And she was not primed this entire time to be a spy and, like, to kill them. So that's why they picked her, because their spies were like, yeah, you don't want to pick the first girl. So they picked the second girl, and in order for this, like, blood oath to work, where, like, the kingdoms often marry their kids off together to strengthen this, like, magic, they have to cut their hands and take the blood and sign, like, say verbal oaths and then sign their names, and they're bound by magic, so they can't kill each other, right? Okay, so there's the king that she's going to marry, and he doesn't talk. He's not speaking. There's this guard who walks in, and he's known as this, like, killer, ruthless killer, whatever. I instantly clocked, like, before they even introduced the character physically, I was like, this is gonna be the guy she falls in love with. I already called it. Not the king. And so, yeah, he walks in, and because the king doesn't speak, the guy, the guard, the close guard, like the right-hand man, speaks. So I instantly was like, what if she's marrying him and not the prince or the king, because he's saying the stuff? And then when they cut their hands to bond, like, they take blood from each of their hands, and, like, that's how they bound them. I was, like, immediately like, what if that's not his blood? Like, what if it's the other guy's blood? And so they get married, whatever, right? And, like, they move forward. She, like, travels with them. And the king is, like, nice or whatever, but, like, won't sleep with her, none of this stuff. Like, very, like, she's like, oh, yeah, like, we don't want to be in this. But she's spending a lot of time with the guard. And they would reference every now and then, like, the Band-Aid handkerchief that they both put around their hands, her and the king, because they cut their hands for the blood. And each time she would mention, like, very briefly passing, like, a description, a couple words about the king and the handkerchief around him. I was like, I don't think he cut his hand. Like, I don't think that was him. And then it kept being like they were talking. I don't know. I instantly, like, throughout the whole thing, I was like, I think the guard is either their brothers and he's secretly royalty, or he's the one who's actually in charge. Like, he's the actual king. And lo and behold, we're 2/3 into the book, and he keeps being, oh, and then there's one thing he said, and I was like, yeah. Lo and behold, it comes to this big reveal where if you're reading it and you're not as attuned, you'd be like, oh my God. And I had that reaction, but it was because I was like, I was right. Where it's like, yeah, that's my double. This whole time I've been the king. And when we were doing the blood oath ceremony, who actually spoke? Me. And the blood, like, that was my blood. So you're married to me, actually. And they'd both been falling in love with each other, and she was feeling guilty because she wasn't in love with who she thought was the king. They're like, yeah, it's my body double. It's a normal thing for our kingdom to have body doubles. And so because I'm dying, like, he'll eventually take over, and the people on the outskirts think it's him. Only the people in the main part of the kingdom know it's, like, that's not me. And I was like, yeah, almost, you thought you got me. Not even almost got me, because they didn't. It was like, something's up. So, yeah, I couldn't put the book down, okay? I was like, I'm trying to get this. I know I'm right. So, yeah, fantasy plots, twists don't work on me. They're always the same. So, all that to say, it was midnight, and I did not wake up at 5 a.m. today. So, I think next time I need to read a nonfiction book if I want to try and fall asleep, not a fantasy book. I read once somewhere that in the mornings read a nonfiction book because your brain is primed to learn, and then in the evenings read not a fiction book or a fantasy book because your brain is primed to, like, dream. Excuse me. So, like, you're more open. So that's what I do. But I think I'm gonna have to just go straight to sleep next time. Or anyway, why did I bring that all up? Yeah. So yeah, I did not wake up today in time. But yesterday again was good. So I just wanted to make sure I got yesterday covered because, because my goal I don't want to, okay, there we go. I was talking about, like, the things that I want to do in life, or in my routine, my weekly and daily routines, and the stuff that I want to fill it with. But until I establish baseline, like, I can't even wake up at 5 a.m. We're not going to add the other stuff. So I found my volunteer opportunity for the month. There was one I posted about, which was the census for people experiencing unsheltered homelessness, but that was from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. and that would have messed up my schedule too much. I didn't have the flexibility to do that, like stay up all night and do that. So I found one with a group I regularly volunteer with. Not regularly, but have volunteered with in the past. I believe 2-3 times now. And so I'm gonna do that today. And then I checked out the books for my curriculum, my herbology curriculum from the library yesterday. So that was all I did yesterday. And then I was done with everything by like 4 or 5. And I originally had planned to go down and pick up a light from a friend. Like, we co-own a light, but it's in Brooklyn. And I was like, I'm going to be in Brooklyn today for the volunteer opportunity, so I'm just going to pick it up today. So I ended up having basically the rest of the day done. And I could have done more stuff and gotten ahead, but I was so fried from the taxes and the health insurance stuff that I was like, I just want to read. So, and I did finish another photo book yesterday. So I started 2 photo books, and then was finding myself getting really sleepy and wanted to take a nap, but I was like, if I take a nap, it's gonna mess up my sleep schedule. So I was on my phone for like an hour or 2, and that got me through like not sleeping. I could have gone outside. It was like the last warm weather of fall, spring. And then I just read for the rest of the day and evening, clearly. So today is a bit more packed. I really wanted to wake up at 5 because essentially, like, once it hits noon, which is in 3 hours, and I'm sitting here yapping, I am gonna be out of commission. Like, I'm gonna be out in Brooklyn volunteering, and then I'm gonna go pick up the light, and then have an event in the evening. So once it hits noon, I'm done for the day in terms of work. But today is really light. Today I'm just doing I'm making a list of every piece of gear that I own, and making another spreadsheet of every gear that I own, like the model number, when I purchased it, how much I purchased it for, and like what's its capability, is it working, whatever. And then in a sub tab sheet, I'm gonna make a wish list, which is things that I want. Link them. The wish list I probably won't work on today, but oh yeah, and then in the list of what I own, like, what do I want to sell? And then for the wish list, it would be like priority level, so I can prioritize what I want to save for, links, etc., why I want them. So that's going to be the gear section, because I just feel like I lose stuff. Like, the other day I had a gig and I was like, I swear I had 3 batteries, but I only had 2. So it could be somewhere around here. I also just need to have a better system of organization of my things. But that's today. And then I was gonna work on the blog and newsletter, but given that I thought I was gonna have 7 hours by waking up at 5 a.m. before 1, now I only have 3 hours. So I think really all I'm gonna be able to get done today is the gear. That's it. Because I still have to eat both breakfast and lunch, get dressed, all that stuff, and that takes, let's say, about an hour each. So I really only have 2 hours, and I'm still sitting here yapping. And it's like 16 minutes. So maybe I shouldn't do these in the morning when I have a lot of energy. But yeah, I'm gonna go get started. Hopefully I'll give an update to today. I don't know if I'll remember, just given how busy the evening will be, but I'll do my best. But all this to say, it took me 17 minutes to say, the calendar thing is working really well. The task thing is working really well. So far so good with that. The biggest thing right now is I just really need to be better at waking up early. That's like my biggest roadblock right now. And even still, even not having woken up at 5, I've been able to get, like, my calendar is set for me to start at 5 every day. Even starting every day so far at 7, 8, and 9. I've been able to get everything that I wanted to get done. It's just more I would like to get it done in a slower way. And in order to have done that, I've been skipping my morning routine. That is another thing. And I think because my morning routine encompasses me having time to read, and what happens is I crave reading like every day. So when I don't have that and I launch straight into work, it inevitably flows into either in the middle of the workday, I'm like, oh, I really just want to read a book. And then I go on the sofa and I read, and then it's been hours. Or, as it's been manifesting, I'll be in bed and be like, oh, I should go to sleep. And it's like, oh, but I didn't get, like, significant reading time. Like, personal reading time, not curriculum reading time, but, like, personal reading time. And then it's midnight, 1 a.m. So, think that is especially the big function for my morning routine, on top of just like starting a morning slow, not going straight to a laptop, like letting myself stretch, all that stuff. Like the priority is I would like to also read, which is when I have a bit of my routine that includes that. So yeah, I really want to wake up early so I can bring the routine in, and maybe that will solve me not wanting to read when I'm about to go to bed. So it's really cool. You know, it's like little puzzle pieces, and having the time to do all that. Anyway, okay, let me start my day. Let me get this day going, and let me commence and see what I can get done before I gotta head out. Hello everybody, coming to you live. You're on my phone tripod. I bought this like a couple months ago, earlier this year, on the street in 125th, and I have yet to really like use it. Well, I've used it a little bit, but like I haven't used it in the most obvious sense, which is for these videos. But I really want OverExposed to be super low effort. I don't put energy into the fonts. It was the first font I found for the little intro clip, all these things. The only thing I really edit is the sound to make sure that it kind of stays consistent. That's it. So the whole point is for this to not be a production. But I was like, I want to eat my toast, which is my new favorite snack. I recently discovered, I know it exists, I mean for myself, that I enjoy butter with like jam on top. Oh my gosh, so good. I think I found this out, where was I? Was I in Atlanta? I was somewhere where I was offered bread, butter, and jam. And I put it on at the same time because I was like really hungry or craving both tastes. And I was like, whoa, this is good. So now it's my favorite like night snack. So good. Kerrygold butter, of course. Kerrygold, please. You're like the only brand chip that I would ever love to go on. I love Kerrygold butter. But anyway, a lot has happened since we last chatted earlier today. The exterminator came through. I don't remember what I told you, but he came through and he sprayed like everything. Oh yeah, I did talk about this on the plate. So I spent the whole day washing dishes. Thankfully, my hands are kind of okay. I like rubbed her in with that shea butter and I was like, ah. So that took up most of the day. So I did not make it to volunteering. I did not make it to picking up the lights for this weekend. So I scheduled volunteering, rescheduled it for the next 2 weeks from now, and then I'm just gonna get the light at the event and wing it like I always do. I just really wanted to have some time to fuck around with the strobe before using it. And it's also, I mean, the strobe is not necessary for what I'm going for. It's just an added extra thing. I just wanted it to be like, if I'm prioritizing the main client shot list, I don't want to spend too much time haggling around with this piece of equipment for supplemental stuff that I want to try out. But me trying stuff out is, I always am a big proponent of, after you get the shots, that you need, or, oh my gosh, the photos that you need for the client, always try some stuff out. Because I tried some stuff out with this client is Run Club client. They are a client, but it's a Run Club that I'm part of. And they really love the blur photos that I took. And they're like, we want more of that. We want more motion. And that is part of the framework of it. So I was like, cool. So I'm going to try some other stuff that I think they'll fuck with if I am able to execute it well. So I'm just going to watch a bunch of videos tomorrow and tutorials, make my little image strategy, shot lists and stuff so that I know what I'm doing going in. I also have another event that I'm photographing on Saturday. So tomorrow is now a much longer day because I didn't wake up early today and I had to deal with washing the dishes and everything just got pushed. I didn't even do anything today. What did I do? I did work-wise. I made the bare bones of the gear inventory list and the wish list. And that's all I did for that. And then I made a 10-minute video talking about all the organizational structures that I have made for social media. And that took 3 hours. It took so fucking long. Like, because it was a 10-minute video, it took a while to rewatch over and over again. Then you have to edit it. And then the captions don't really work. The auto-generated captions don't work on TikTok once it's like more than 6 minutes. So I had to download it or like post it just for me so I can get the video and then pull into CapCut and then do the captions, and the caption generating on that thing is awful, so I had to go through all of that and then repost it, and then it was a lot. It's so much fucking work posting stuff on TikTok. People who do not think that influencers, I'm not an influencer, but like content creators who do this as their full-time job isn't a real job, that is a job. Social media people, that is a job. Jesus freaking Christ, so much work. So but that has inspired me. I've been thinking about it today. Is I do want to do a YouTube series. I think it'd be a great way to funnel, because I had one person comment, I would love to see more in detail about what these spreadsheets look like of what I was talking about. And there's so much more I want to chat with. And I feel like I've dropped a couple of things over throughout like different platforms or just like briefly on a story. And I want to cohesively show everyone that this is all part of one universe and everything works intentionally with everything else. So I think a YouTube series would be really great for that. And so I'm gonna pile that onto my list for when I'm in my creative session stuff for Q2. And I think it'd be a great way to drive people to YouTube because I want more longer stuff anyway, and places like TikTok and stuff don't really like, you know, not everyone will watch the 10-minute video. Surprisingly, a good amount of people did, or it seemed like they did because they were commenting on Instagram, but they also could just have been commenting for a little bit. So yeah, and then I'll take the time to film all of those. Ideally, I'll film all of that in a day or two, and then spend a couple weeks editing or days editing, and then also edit them down to different like clips and stuff for socials, and put that all as my part of like my scheduled image strategy, so that like I can just have that all going out as like educational stuff and just have that already done and schedule all of those out to go out over like a month period or something. So I think that'd be a great image strategy thing. And like, cause I'm toying with like, okay, also let me just take a bite, sorry, I'm hungry. It's been a long day. I didn't plan my day out well. Or, well, I did, but it didn't go well, so I only had like one proper meal today. And then I had a taco that my boyfriend treated me to, but I got it on a dare. We're both trying to save money, me more extensively so, because I have a big reason to, because I don't have income coming in. He for, you know, just saving money purposes. And so he told me we're at this concert. He was like, if you do the gritty from one side of the room to halfway across, I'll get you a taco. So I did it. I'll do anything for food within reason. So that's all I had today. That and 2 servings of grits mixed with carrot soup. Don't ask. Anyway. Here's something I've been thinking a lot about. Is multiple streams of income is very important. Something that I need to be strategic about. What I am trying to find balance with is I don't like charging people for knowledge within reason. There are caveats. There's a lot of nuance to that statement. Because there's just so much gatekeeping in this industry. It's so confusing. It's just so many things, right? So I don't feel comfortable being like, buy my digital ebook of all my tips or pay for my Patreon or whatever. Like, I don't feel comfortable for that. But I think that also comes from like, that stems from something else, I think, that we're working through in our heads because we can't afford therapy right now. So I'm trying to find strategic ways to like monetize the information that I have, because I have people comment or DM be like, oh, I would love to pick your brain for this or this or this. And I saw a TikTok video a couple days ago where someone said, I'm no longer doing that for free. I'm no longer doing like pick your brain coffee sessions. That is considered consulting. And having worked in a consulting firm for the past 2 years, yeah, it's consulting. Like, I forget the number, but I remember talking to a consultant who was telling us that someone who was an expert in their field, the consultants at or my last company, would pay the experts in the field to give their information and their knowledge. The money that they got paid, y'all, it was enough that I was like shocked for just like a 30-minute, 1-hour conversation, what the consulting companies or the consultants and partners will pay these knowledge experts for giving their information, like just sharing what they think about this topic or being asked questions. It was again, I don't remember the exact number, but it had to have been in the 5-figure range, because I remember being shocked. And I remember being like, let me drop out, stop working here, and be a knowledge expert for consulting firms. And so it's one of those situations where you're like, because in the world that I want to build, all of this shit is free. And like this knowledge, and there's free flowing knowledge, all this stuff, right? But I also need to pay my bills, and I need to be strategic about that. And so how do you do that? So I'm just trying to figure that out. So even with this knowledge, like I've done, workshops for friends, and I did like a workshop on manifesting and moving with intention for my friends, beginning of the year, end of this last year. And a lot of them were like, you could pay for this. Like this was really well done course. Like I had a well done deck, like I did the work for it and the explaining and all that stuff. and we have quarterly check-ins as a group happening throughout this year. They're like, you could charge for this. Like, you could like do that. And I don't know, there's a part of me that's like, I agree. There's also a part of me that's like, why does everything have to have a charge to it? Like, what do I just want to share information? But it's also like, okay, yes, but now that I'm also like a businesswoman, I have to think business as well. So I think I'm trying to find harmony or balance with like the business strategy and being objective and like, because that funding is what will allow me to continue to do this, right? And that's something that I know is justified when I had my corporate job, because having a job that came consistent money is what allowed for me like doing the stuff that I necessarily didn't like, which was like corporate event photography and all that stuff, like great stuff that pays the bills, but it's not what I'm passionate about, right? But I did it because it paid the bills, so I can spend the time knowing that my money was like rent, everything I needed was covered. So I would do stuff for free all the time for things that I cared about. So it's trying to find the like, okay, how do I still make things accessible for people while also being a businesswoman and thinking about the money of stuff and thinking about how that's necessary for the sustainment for myself. And even just a 3-hour video that, or three hours it took me to make that 10-minute video, that's time away from my own work. So that has a monetary cost to it. So I'm just trying to think of all those things. So I'm gonna continue to think on it, but my initial thought just from dwelling on it while I was making these that are just staring at me while I chat with y'all is the YouTube, at least like longer videos, will drive people to hopefully subscribe, and hopefully that grows. And with social media growing numbers, that gives you more opportunities and potential for brand deals and all these things. So like that's a long game. There are probably ways that I can do something more short term, and it could be in the form of workshops. It could be like I've been thinking about selling the templates that I have once I get them more refined and use them a little more in the year, and just having different tiers. So it's like, hey, I've told you, I think the accessibility in this case is I made the videos, you have all the videos, you can make it yourself. Like, here's all the information, I'm not gatekeeping any of it. But if you don't want to do that and you want to just buy the templates already made, cool, like here is that option. But I don't want it to be like, oh, well, she only has things paid. No, like you can make it yourself, but you know, not a lot of people want to take initiative and make stuff themselves. But like there's a different tiers to that. And then maybe like a higher price, there's different pricing amounts where it's like if you just want the financial budget, that I already have for free on my, and I think that one I'll always have for free, because I think this financial empowerment for women and just in general is just so important. So I'll for sure always have, I'm keeping my word, always will have that sheet for free, and it's pretty extensive what I have in that. It's all in my bio at the bottom of that link. But maybe it'll be like, if you want the entirety of my universe, here is the cost for that. Or if you want like my entire Notion universe, here is the charge for that, or whatever. So I think maybe I'll think through that. And then also just try and look for more opportunities to teach workshops or like give talks and get paid for those, by showing the level of expertise that I have. So not entirely sure, but that's another thing too. Like I hinted at it, I'm working on a photo workshop this year, and the whole goal of that photo workshop is to make free educational content for people, not content, but like workshops for people to attend and get a bunch of knowledge that they probably otherwise wouldn't have, with industry connections that they probably wouldn't otherwise have, for free. And if at the highest we charge is $10, like I want that shit free, and it's taking a lot of work. It will be taking a lot of work on my side because I'm coordinating and managing all of that in partnership with my friend's organization. And that takes a lot of work, and I'm not getting paid for that. And I am okay with that. But I do have to be strategic about how I spend my energy and my labor and my time. And making sure that if I'm not compensated through that, like, which I don't want to be, how do I make that money back, right? So an example is when I was in college, I did, I offered or someone made a donation to, I forget what came first. Someone made the donation or I announced it first. Or maybe I think I was doing a giveaway. Yes, I think I was doing a giveaway for headshots in one graduation shoot, like 5 free headshots or 10 free headshots in one graduation shoot. And it was specifically for people of color on our campus. And someone, a white person at my school who was a mutual, or like we were in classes together, but they were a little older, paid for more, so like subsidized more people, so gave a lot of money in order to continue to subsidize that. that was a great way of like, yes, I'm doing this free thing, but this person has paid me to continue to do even more of it. So things like that, like, it's like, how do you have like a sponsor or something in the form of people who are able to help pay for people who may not be able to afford it, or for me to do things for free. Just a bunch of things to think about, essentially. So yeah, that is what I'm thinking through. I'm trying to figure out how to like respond to people who are like, I would love to see more of this or whatever. And I think it's just gonna have to be a waiting game for that. But until I figure that out, and that is okay, because people, if you really, really want to, you could, I gave you all the information, you could just make it yourself. But not everyone is as, you know, spreadsheet driven as I am. So maybe that does seem very intimidating, or a lot. Like, I remember sharing at my last job, I had this like project tracker sheet of like everything that I worked on and who I connected with, who was my feedback, when was the deadline, how long did it take me to do, where's the link to the project, any notes, like who was the reviewer, who was the approver, yada yada, right? And that was like the people I worked with on my team, they were like, whoa, that's so organized. And I was like, oh, this is nothing. This is nothing. So I do see how it can be pretty a lot for other people. But anyway, those are what's on my mind today. So a little frustrated that I wasn't able to get much done in terms of business, but it was also, I mean, that's life, you know, it's life. So I take it back, I'm not frustrated. It's not. The way I've structured things is like, I can just kind of move stuff over each day. So I'm hoping tomorrow, I have 9 things on this to-do list for tomorrow. The most it's been so far this week is like 5 things, but we've got 9 things tomorrow in order to make sure I stay on track with my deadlines I've outlined for myself for this month, and also because the weekend's gonna be really busy. I got 2 shoots on Saturday, and then editing on Sunday. I think there's something else happening on Sunday, and then jumping right back into it on Monday. So pretty busy weekend, but I'm very excited, and I am looking forward to continuing to see how things are and things grow. I'm gonna get back. These have just been looking at me. Look at them. They look so beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna go eat this. But thanks for sitting along. Been very chatty today. Today also has crossed the 15-minute mark. So, but you know, if you're watching this, I think you could be learning a lot, because I'm learning a lot when I rewatch these. Anyway, okay, bye. All right, we're gonna make this one really quick because I really need to go to bed today. So because of yesterday's fiasco, everything that I wanted to do then got moved to today. And it was just 2 things, which was go through my gear list, make my inventory, and make a wish list. That was the primary 2 things I needed to get done yesterday. And I knew that was going to take me a while, which is why I had the whole day allocated to it, okay? So I started the day today doing that, but I didn't wake up till like 10. So that was a whole other thing. And the gear inventory was so much work, and it was so overwhelming. I don't even know for what reason. I didn't even finish, but I spent 3 hours on it. And I like haven't even touched the lighting or the stand stuff, and then the whole cord situation. I have a bag of cords. And I need to also get some tape or something so I can like number them so I can identify things, because I'm trying to keep cords with like the charger structure with the item that it needs to get charged, just so I know, because I have too many cords and some stuff don't work, and I like keep losing stuff sometimes. So I want to keep things together, and I want to like have codes on them so I know where things are. So if something's missing, I'm like, oh, where's SD card number 2? That's sort of shit, but oh my god. But I was able to get some stuff organized, and I itemized like what I wanted to sell, keep, repair, replace. So I did put like 6 things up for sale on Instagram stories and Facebook Marketplace, and 2 of them I've already sold, with 1 TBD, 2 TBD. And that money is just gonna go straight back into replacing things. Damn, my face looks bad. That's gonna go back into replacing stuff. So, I still need to make my wish list. I kind of have a general, like, as things came up to my head, I would write things down, but I need to prioritize them and do some research on some stuff So for what I would make with what I'm selling is probably no more than $200. So that would be like battery replacements. Not replacements, but I just need at least one extra battery for my flash. I only have one for that. And then I have 3 for my camera. Ideally I'd like 4. And then another set of rechargeable batteries. Because I have AA and AAA rechargeable batteries, because I was tired of buying batteries over and over again, and the film camera I uses batteries and like other miscellaneous things. So I think I would like one more round, so I'd have 8 of each of those. So that's probably about all I would be able to afford with how much I'm selling for, because as I was trying to find exact links, if not like the exact invoice, but I've deactivated my Amazon account, which is, I was buying a lot of stuff back then on there, so I don't have the exact like when I purchased things and how much they were, but everything has gone up significantly. Like, I bought my Sony camera lens. I thought I had my Sony for longer, but I've had it since 2020. I thought I had it even longer than that. It was 1,000 something. It is up now to 2,000 something. The lens was in the hundreds. I think it was like $800 for the 24-70. It's now 1,000 something. Scary. And then I also realized, like, I was going through my hard drives, and I was like, oh my god, I have to, like, go through my hard drives at some point. That's really gonna break me. But I don't think I need to get another hard drive. I do still want, like, an at-home one, but I think I have enough. I just structured them super weird for some reason. I know what I was thinking when I made the hard drive structure in college, but it doesn't make sense to me now. So I need to go through, and that's gonna take a whole day for sure. That'll be well, it has to get done in March. It's part of my March tasks. Oh, I already have it scheduled. Anyway, that was so overwhelming. But I did and then, like, recording everything and taking photos to have them listed. Oh my gosh, that took so much work. But it worked because, 4 of the 6 things are already being sold. So that's a win. And then I have 2 shoots tomorrow. There's the Run Club, like, welcome back for the year shoot. And, so they're a client for that. I'm getting paid for that. So they just had one big ask, which was motion and just obviously general event, but I'm going into this like super strategically. So I have the schedule and everything. I went on Pinterest while I was blow drying my hair. What's the word that you do with your hair? Starts with a D. Diffusing my hair. I was like multitasking with the other hand, like on Pinterest, and just like saving running photos that I like. And then I went in and I made a Canva PDF deck for myself with each page being a different part of the schedule and what exactly I want to get. And I'm gonna have a strobe there on my flash. So I'm very, very excited for this. It's very like more focused, like I have things exactly that I want, shot lists basically, and vibes and energy. So it very much gives like college when we would get assignments. You'd have 1 or 2 things you need to do, but I always would go above and beyond and do a lot extra, and that's what helped me out in so many different ways. So I want to shift back into that mindset. So even though they just asked for 2 things, general event coverage and motion imagery, I'm going to be doing a lot more and testing out a lot more stuff, and even the strobe, like using that. I've never used a strobe outdoors, so we'll see how that works. But why not, And then I'll go make some food, rest, charge up my stuff, because later that night there's an engagement or proposal that I'm photographing, so it's back to back. So while my stuff's charging, we'll ingest all the NARC stuff, make some selections if I get to that point, and then shower, change, eat, and get to the city to photograph that engagement, and then come back, ingest those, make those selects, and then the Sunday there's a half marathon and a lot of friends are running it, so the morning is just cheering them on in Brooklyn, and then it's the United half, so it starts in Brooklyn and it ends in Prospect Park. It starts at Prospect Park and it ends in Central Park. So gonna start in Brooklyn and cheer, and then go to Central Park and cheer, and then make my way back into Brooklyn and spend the day just editing. And then there's an iftar dinner, or iftar later that night, so Monday will be spent. I probably don't think I'll finish editing any photos. I also have to drop off film at some point because I'm taking also film photos at the Run Club. So there's a film store right near it, but I don't know if I used to go there, a nice film club. But I'm no longer a member, and I don't know if they scan if you're not a member. I'll still stop by and just ask them. And then, yeah. So Monday was for sure when I will have everything done. But these are both high priority, like, quick turnaround stuff. So it's trying to, like, maybe with the cheering, maybe I won't go to Central. No, I want to. I'll just stay up. Anyway, that's to figure out later. But, yeah. So that was the day. I already packed everything. I have my clothes ready for me in the morning. I have Veronica, my cart. She's loaded up with the gear, with everything that I'm going to need for the whole day, because I'm just going to hang out in Brooklyn for the whole day. Honestly, now more than ever, I'm thinking about moving to Brooklyn. All my friends have been wanting me to go to Brooklyn for years, and I've been like, no, I love Harlem, and I do love it here. Logistically, though, it's becoming a bit of a nightmare, because a lot of gigs that I'm getting and a lot of opportunities are in Brooklyn. And it is a pain when you have a situation like tomorrow where you have two things happening and you're like, how do I? Thankfully I have Veronica, and thankfully my boyfriend lives in Brooklyn, because that helps. And I have a lot of friends in Brooklyn, so even before I was dating him, like, I had friends whose places I could just crash out and hang out at in between different things. But and then once the summer starts, forget about it. So it's just like, logistically, my life would be, I'd get a lot of time back if I lived in Brooklyn, because I just spend a lot of round trips, 2 hours each time. I do get a lot of my reading done, though, so it's not like wasted time. I get a lot of reading done on my treks to Brooklyn and back, and I really don't mind it. Sometimes, though, it does get a little lonely, because, like, I don't really have a friend group. Vulnerability moment. I have a lot of friends, but I don't have a friend group. And a lot of the people I'd have potential to be in friend groups with all live in Brooklyn. And so they naturally and organically get to see each other. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm just going to pop by, say hello. We're going to go on a run together in the mornings or something. And I always get invited to them, but, things also just organically happen. Where you're not going to be like, oh, let's always just text her and make sure she wants to come. Like, you live in the same area. So there is also that I'm considering too, where I'm like, I could have very stronger, deeper connections with people if I lived near them. It's either that or I need to make more Harlem friends. But then I make Harlem friends and then they all move to Brooklyn. All the people I knew in Harlem in the past 4 years have all moved to Brooklyn. Betrayed. I've been betrayed. So, yeah, but we have 1 more year on this lease. And so we'll think about things in 2028. But anyway, that's just a tangential thought, but it does make you think a lot. Sorry, the neighbors are arguing, which they like to do every night and every day and every afternoon. So anyway, so it wasn't like I didn't get anything that I wanted to get done today besides the strategy for because I also was doing Pinterest searches for the proposal. There's not that many examples on Pinterest, but so those two were the only things I had. Not only things I had for today. I had a bunch of other stuff done for today. It was supposed to be a 9-task to-do list, and I didn't get. I was still working on the gear stuff from yesterday, so. But I was reminded that, like, it's okay, life happens, life is always gonna be a to-do list. So, like, you can't be too hard on yourself. I'm like, yeah, but it was more so because I knew this weekend was going to be packed. These next 3 days up until Monday are going to be so busy, because then Monday is editing. I'm just gonna be in my laptop editing the remaining photos for the 2 gigs from the weekend, and editing the weekly OverExposed video. So, and then Tuesday is going to be outdoor, mainly out of my apartment, doing errands and dropping things off. So it's just like, oh, I think I have a coffee too. yeah, so it's just like, just trying to keep in mind, just like, yeah, anyway. Let me go to bed. I said this wasn't going to be long, and it's 12 minutes. I've been a yapper this week. But it's midnight. I'm going to be waking up in about 7 hours, and then we're going to get this week going. I am very excited, though. Like, I am very, very excited. I'm looking forward to these. I know I'm going to do a great job. I know I'm going to challenge myself. And I'm a little nervous for the proposal. I don't really do those. This will actually be my first proposal. I've done engagements and, like, elopements, but not like a proposal. So that'll be fun. That I'm a little nervous about. Just not out of because I don't think I can do it, but it's just like the novelty of doing something new for the first time. The premise of it all is the same, you know, like, but proposals and weddings, I don't have experience in. So, looking forward to it. And then I know once it gets to Sunday, it's gonna be good. You know? I don't know, 24 hours from now, I'll be laying in bed like, you did it, yay. That's how I used to get through things whenever I'd be stressed about anything in school or in life. Be like, in a few hours after that, you're going to be laying somewhere, sitting somewhere, thinking you did that. And the sun keeps shining, you know? So that always has helped manage my anxiety over the years, so. And again, I'm not that anxious. I think I'm just really frustrated about the past 2 days. Just it not going the way I wanted it to. But that's life. And I'm also just frustrated with myself because genuinely waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. would solve so fucking much. And instead, I'm on my phone or I'm reading past midnight. So that is like the discipline that I need to get back to. And I've been trying to figure out, see, here I go yapping again. One more thing. I've been trying to figure out the correlation between my lack of discipline. Like, how was I so disciplined? I don't even know the time frame anymore. A year ago, 2 years ago, when I was doing the period of waking up at 5 a.m. And there were two things that existed then that don't exist now. One, I was in EMT school and a full-time job. So I had to wake up early to logistically do my trainings for my runs and also fit in studying and doing the homeworks and the quizzes and the chapter readings, because after work I would have to come and sit through 3 hours of class and then go to bed. So I had to be waking up early in order to get that done. And then I kind of referenced it, but running is when I'm at my most disciplined. Just I'm so much better with my eating and my sleeping and my physical health and mental clarity. And in order to fit in the runs, I would do that because I still had my 9 to 5. I would have to wake up early or be very intentional about how I plan my days or my evenings. What are the 2 things I don't have? 3 things I don't have anymore: the EMT class, the 9 to 5, and I'm not running. I haven't run properly. I haven't been in training since November. So I think I need to get back to that. I think the running, I'm not going to get a 9 to 5 or a class, but the running I think could solve a lot for me. I think I know it will be a great discipline reignition that I need, that I'm missing. So, trying to fit that back in, but the whole reason I stopped is because my body wasn't doing well. But we're going to start from the beginning. I've decided, because I had San Diego, but San Diego is not refundable. I signed up for the half or the full. So I think I'm just going to still go out and do the half and make that my PR half marathon attempt to run a sub 2 hour. And then New York City will be my only full marathon of the year. And I want to do a PR for that and run sub 4:45, which I think is what my current best time is. So that will require me to just start from the very basics. San Diego, I know I can run 13, so I'm not concerned. It's just a matter of getting the strength back. So there's enough time for that. But I have a lot of time for New York City, and we're just going to start from the very, very basic. Instead of what was happening with Oregon training when I was trying to do it and with San Diego full, because of the time frame being so close, the training plan would jump me right into like your long runs would be 10 miles plus, versus starting from the very beginning of a training plan where your long runs were 2 miles and you would increment to grow up. So I need to get back to just from the very, very beginning. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So we're going to kick that back up on Monday or Tuesday. And I think seeing Run Club again coming back, first run of the year tomorrow, will get me excited about running again. I mean, I'm not going to be running tomorrow. Well, I'll be running after people to take photos of them, but I won't be running, like, working out. So, and I have access to that gym for free right now. I need to take advantage of that really well. And the unfortunate reality of my March planning, my incremental, like, micromanagement planning for March, is I did not factor in 2 things. I didn't factor in any physical fitness and outside time, and I didn't factor in wash days, because today, that's something that I realized I had to do at 7 p.m. is wash my hair. I'm gonna go to bed. Okay, we'll chat tomorrow. We did it! Just left the engagement. Adrian, thank you for inviting me to such a beautiful, beautiful moment. Beautiful couple, beautiful family. I was like, wow. This morning went really well with the Run Club shoot, and had a little time to relax, recharge stuff, and just the photos, and then come down this way. And I stayed a little longer than I'd planned, and I always do at these things, especially when it's for such beautiful, amazing people. And New York is such a small place. Tell me why I walk in, and Tammy was there, EJ, and Tammy watches these. So Tammy, you get a shout out to this. If you're watching this episode, this episode is dedicated to you, out here doing the grind. Book him for a DJ. He goes under Gossamer. But yeah, it's one of those moments where you're like, damn, I really do know what I'm doing. I'm good at what I do. And sometimes I get nervous about it. And then I'm in the flow and I'm like, I know what I'm doing. So just a reminder that sometimes the things that you get nervous about are things that you, is your heart being excited. It's like your heart having exciting flutters. And I can't take that. Ooh, almost died. I definitely stole that. I did not come up with that. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm also self-conscious about recording on the street, so I'm gonna put this down. But great day, we made it. So tomorrow's just cheering on the United half, some friends, and then editing. So I will check in with you then.